Hello and welcome to this tutorial. I hope the microphone is working today and it will be a bit louder, able to hear. So in this tutorial we're going to be learning how to create a website using Photoshop for the layout and then moving into Dreamweaver to do the links and other stuff. So let's get started. First thing you need to do is go up into the file menu on Photoshop. I'm using Photoshop CS5 here, and click New. In this demo I'm going to use 1000 pixels by 1200 pixels. Make sure you have the resolution set to 72 pixels per inch and the colour mode onto RGB colour 8-bit, and select OK. But we're just going to name this YouTube test and select OK. So here we've got our document, and we're going to first of all make the background a gradient, because that's always a nice place to start. So if we make our colours a sort of a grey and white, then we can create a gradient up here, and if you hold shift it'll make it go vertical. So there's a nice background. And then if we select the rectangle tool, up over here in the corner you'll see it says geometry options, and if you select that, make sure that you have snap to pixels selected, and over here make sure you have the fill pixels selected, and then as long as you have white selected, it should look good on this particular background. So if I just draw out here a rectangle, it will fill it in like this. And then if we do that on a new layer, then we'll have more options for editing in the future. So if you double click on layer 2 and click drop shadow, then we can create a nice 3D drop shadow effect. So I'm going to set mine to quite large, like that, so that it comes around each side. So I've got it set the opacity to 62, the distance to 5 pixels, spread 9%, and the size to 59 pixels. Let's just make that 60 to be a bit easier, and select OK. So there we have a nice 3D effect on it, which makes it look and feel more like it's hovering as opposed to flat on the background. The next thing we're going to do is, by dragging out some lines, is just sort of do a bit of a border around here so that we know what the limits are that we want to go to, which will make it easier for us to lay it out. So I'm just going to do another one down here where I'm going to create the menu. So if I just do this here, it's automatically snapping to the center, and then I shall put one there and there. Then if I draw a box using the rectangle tool, this time I'm going to do it on a new layer again, and just draw a box, and it will automatically snap to the grid. Now I've got the colour set to white, so if I just select it, just green for now so we can see, I'll put 3 or 4 boxes rather, just around here. Okay, like this. And then in Photoshop CS5 you get the cooler tab, which basically what it lets you do is select from some popular sort of colour schemes, which then allows you to select a nice colour scheme for your design. So for this design I'm going to do Aviator, and if you just click the little arrow here and click Add to Swatches panel, it'll add it over here so that you can select those colours for the different parts. If you're using earlier than CS5, you can download it off the internet. I'm not sure entirely where, but you can download the Cooler extension. And if it's not showing, if you select Window and then Extensions, you can select it from there. So then I'm going to use the Fill Bucket tool and select one of the colours that I just downloaded and just fill in these different buttons with different colours. Now I've just realised that on this, because it's all joined together, I cannot see all the separate colours. So if I just make these all different colours to start with, then it'll make it easier to fill with the different colours. So I'll go back to the Fill Bucket and select the first colour here, and then here, here, and finally here. And you can see that that all fits in very nicely and has a nice feel to it. So if I then go and take the text tool on here, I can add a label for home, which is nice, and then sort of centre that in there. But I'm going to actually change the colour of this one. So if I just highlight all of it and then select the lighter beige colour from here, then you can see it a bit better. But I'm making sure that I'm always using the colours that are already selected out of the colour scheme. And then if I do, say, About here, and highlight it all, and then do, let's say, the blue colour from the other side, and then centre that there. And here I shall put Contact, highlight it, and this time I'll do the first colour, and centre that. And then for the final one I just put how about videos for this example, and centre that, and just use the text tool again to whoopsie-daisy, just bin that layer, that was an accident, yes. Edit this, and I think that the beige colour will look good on that one as well. Okay, perfect. So we have all our buttons laid out there at the top. Now we just need to add some content to the page. So we take the text tool again and just put it here. For this case I'm just going to do home, and I'll just do it in black since that's a nice neutral colour for the text on there. I think it needs to be a bit bigger as well, so just highlight it, select all, and if I just drag this up here I can make it bigger, so I'll just drag that out there, and I'll select bold from here so that it just stands out a bit more, and I'll drag it in line with that grid line there.